What an incredible week it's been for upset victories and progressive candidates. At the beginning of the week, you had Cori Bush take down Lacey Clay. Clay representing a 50-year dynasty in Missouri. Cori Bush will go on to become the congressperson for Missouri's 1st district, as that is a solidly blue district. And now you have Marquita Bradshaw taking down another establishment-backed Democrat. And the money divide here is stark. Incredibly stark. Very, even more so than past races where you had progressives come close or win. And I'll get to that in a second. First, the results here. So Marquita Bradshaw with 35.4% of the vote. Robin Kimbrough here, 26.5%. And James Mackler, who was supposed to be the real threat here, in 3rd place at 24%. Mackler had $2.1 million behind him and was backed by the DSCC, essentially the Democratic Party establishment, the senatorial committee. So he was backed by the Democratic Party and came in 3rd place. Now, obviously, look, having this three-way split here definitely helped Marquita Bradshaw, but she won. She won. She's the Democratic nominee for Senate in Tennessee, and I'll get to who she's going to be taking on here. So Bradshaw defeated Nashville attorney and former Army helicopter pilot James Mackler, who had snagged an endorsement from the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee and others. Bradshaw will face former U.S. Ambassador to Japan Bill Hagerty, who defeated Nashville trauma surgeon Manny Sethi in the Republican primary. Bradshaw and Hagerty are seeking to succeed Republican Senator Lamar Alexander, who is retiring. Republicans have held both Senate seats in Tennessee since 1994. So the last Democrat to actually win a Senate seat in Tennessee is Al Gore in 1990. Can Bradshaw win this back for Democrats? I think it's possible. I think it's more possible with Bradshaw than it would have been with Mackler. Because you have here someone who's actually going to excite people out to vote. In addition to, of course, having Donald Trump be the ultimate figure that people want to vote against. So look, it's obviously going to be a tough race, and it's very unlikely that Bradshaw is going to win. But if she does, it'll be another major upset to be excited about in November. But I want to play for you here a video from her campaign committee, from her YouTube page, so you get an idea of what Bradshaw's about.
As a Black woman, to live for 46 years here in Memphis, Tennessee, I've seen how race interacts with everything in my life. I put my focus from looking at racism from an environmental justice lens, which looks at policy holistically and at how it affects the person interacting with the American system for the pursuit of happiness. The movement of environmental justice has been a successful movement because we've been able to go from a movement to a legal term where we now have language to know how to approach seeking justice. And that means that everyone has the right to have healthy and safe communities where they live, learn, work, worship, and recreate.
So there you go, giving you an idea of what Bradshaw is about. And let me show you the difference here in money. So this from Rose Movement. Bradshaw, a progressive who supports Medicare for All and the Green New Deal, just won her Senate primary race in Tennessee. Her DSCC-backed opponent had raised $2.1 million. Bradshaw raised $8,400. $2.1 million against $8,000, and Bradshaw won. Unbelievable. Don't ever tell us that progressives can't win in the South. And just to give you an idea of the difference here, so to put it into perspective, as Rose Movement says here, Charles Booker was outraised by Amy McGrath 40-1, and he ended up losing, just barely losing, that primary race against McGrath in Kentucky. Marquita Bradshaw was outraised by James Mackler 250-1. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What a stunning upset this was. And look, this is an environmental activist. An environmental activist took down an Army veteran, a Democratic establishment-backed candidate, definitely a more, conservative Democratic candidate. Bradshaw took him down. Sunrise Movement here. The only kind of Green New Deal we're fighting for is one that puts racial justice at its core. That's the vision Bradshaw ran on, and she took down the party-backed candidate who raised millions of dollars. It's 2020, and big things are happening, y'all. And also, just a quick overview here of, if you go to her webpage, again, I'd always link to these sources below the video so you can check it out yourself. But go to her issues page, and she's very clear about what she's about. Support for Medicare for all, wants fully funded, high-quality public education, supports a Green New Deal, supports a living wage and workers' rights, supports community policing and restorative justice, overturning Citizens United, obviously, supports DACA. So a very clear platform. This is the thing with one of the biggest differences you will see when it comes to candidates like this versus the moderate challengers or the conservative challengers is that progressives are clear about what they're fighting for. They have very specific policy platforms, things you can name and you know exactly what they are. Medicare for all, high quality public education, Green New Deal. If you go to a conservative Democrats webpage and look at their issues, it's very vague, not very clear about what they're fighting for, and that's done on purpose because they are not representing the people. They are representing whatever wealthy interests are backing them. But people like Bradshaw are fighting for actual people. I mean, she's an activist, an environmental activist, has a lifelong fight in that. So she actually cares about these issues. Unbelievable. Unbelievable win. I feel like I'm a little overloaded with wins this week. This could have been spread out a little bit. Have this one in a couple weeks so I can really enjoy it more. But incredible win here. Again, it's going to be a tough fight in November just because it's freaking Tennessee. But it's possible with a well-funded campaign, getting her name out there, ensuring people are aware of the fight that's going down, and hopefully with help of the hate that people have towards Donald Trump, bringing a lot more Democratic voters out in November. Hopefully that'll also help this race as well. So we're gonna see, but good luck to Marquita Bradshaw, and I hope she pulls this off.